got talking hoops today? Oh, Legler is up shooting threes. The big man, Big Perk, is minding the paint. Wendy's got all the insight. Rebecca Lobo will join us later as well. Let's do this thing. Game 2, Mavericks Celtics in Boston last night. Dallas 3-0 in Game 2s in this postseason. Boston's only 2 losses had come in Game 2s. And the Mavericks started well last night, Allen, led by Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic setting the tone early, letting the offense get going. 13 points in the first quarter, 5 of 7 field goals. And the best part was, Greeny, is you knew he was locked in because every shot he made, not only is he hopping, he's talking to people.
He got the fans to know it. Dallas, the early 4-point lead, under a minute to go. Kyrie Irving, tough night for him. Gets this one to fall. The Mavs have a 3-point lead after 1. And then the second quarter happened, and Drew Holiday took over the game.
It's amazing, this player in the right place at the right time every time. He had 18 points in the paint for a guard because he just knew where to be, playing off his teammates.
Jason Tatum with 7 assists in that second quarter. Holiday 17 points at the half. Celtics up 3 at the break. Middle of the third we go. Tatum, another quiet night for him offensively, but he gets that one to fall.
Things happen when he drives to the basket. Doris Burke was saying it last night on the broadcast. She's right.
And then how about the defense here going the other way?
Yeah, let's talk about turnovers. 15 fast break points, but for Dallas it was more a turnover issue.
A minute later, Celtics leading by 10. It is Holiday getting it on the layup. He's up to 23. Celtics a 10-0 run, and then Peyton Pritchard checks himself in for the final seconds.
Yes, if it goes. He called glass. You know what? He didn't just call glass. He called the shot. He said, I do this. This is what I do.
Why would we show it to you if it didn't go in? They're up by 9 going to the fourth quarter. Now, Mavs trying to work it around and get something going.
Look out.
Take a look at Kristaps Porzingis. This is the one moment for the Celtics you're concerned about. Watch him closely here, Allen. We've seen this a million times.
Yeah, the left leg, you see how he holds it up? That tells you something went wrong, and we don't know what exactly it is. We'll find out today, but you don't like seeing Kristaps Porzingis hobbling if you're the Celtics.
MRI coming today. Meanwhile, Holiday giving it up and getting it back and knocking down the 3 off the defensive play. He would score 26 on the night. 11 of 14 shooting for Drew Holiday. Celtics up by 11, but Dallas not going away, trying to work their way back. We're in the final 2 minutes here. Mavs down by 8. There's Luka. He had 32, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 5-point game. Here we go. Final minute. Here's the biggest play of the game, P.J. Washington.
Watch the hand in the back from Jaylen Brown. We'll watch it again here. Look right there. Straight push in the back as PJ's going up. We know he's got pogo stick legs. For him to be that short on a dunk attempt tells you there's something more at play, but no call was made.
It's critical. We'll talk about it in a moment. Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown takes it strong to seal the deal. He had 21.7 assists. Celtics win Game 2 by a touchdown. They're up 2-0. Game 2, Drew, talk to me.
I'm a utility guy. I do whatever. I'm here to win. I feel like they brought me here to win. And I'll do my best to do that.
It wasn't just all on me, but I'm definitely taking the majority of it just because, my teammates look to me to convert a lot of these shots and ease the burden, not only just Luka, but everyone else, and settle our team. We've definitely made our identity on the defensive end, but now offensively, I got to play better.
All right, so you heard in there the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and we'll cover both sides. We'll get to Kyrie Irving in a minute, but Legs, let's start with the Celtics here. They take this 2-0 lead. So much conversation. Is this Jason Tatum's team? Is it Jaylen Brown's team? Last night, it's Drew Holiday's team. How do you define what we've seen through 2 games from this Boston team?
Yeah, Green, it's really kind of amazing, the Boston Celtics, like the standard they're held to. It's not enough to just win. It's how they win, right? That's what we're going to talk about now. Drew Holiday played an incredibly smart game. And I thought in the first half, on a night when nobody was making perimeter shots, Drew Holiday saw all of these different opportunities and angles and driving lanes to get into the paint and do his damage there. He converted his first 9 shots in the lane. And look, some of that speaks to what he was seeing and his ability to find these gaps. It also speaks to the backline defense of the Dallas Mavericks, and I think the ineffectiveness of Gafford and Lively to be rim protectors in this series to this point. If Drew Holiday doesn't play the way he does in the first half, the way they shot the ball, it's likely that they're down 8 or 10 points at halftime, and this might feel a lot different to start the second half instead of having a 3-point lead, in large part simply because of how well he played offensively. So give him credit. This is what you brought him in here to do. He's a winner. He's not fazed by the moment, and I just thought he played an incredibly smart game the way that he attacked these closeout defenders.
Well, when you think about it, if the Celtics win this championship, Big Perk, it might be because of deals that they made last year. June 21st is when they acquired Porzingis. He won them game 1. October 1st is when they got Drew Holiday. He won them game 2. And that's really the point I was trying to make, Big Perk, to Legs. This team is no longer about, well, does it have to be Tatum? Does it have to be Brown? They're so good because they can beat you with any of 4 different players on any given night. What'd you see last night from the Celtics?
Well, look, number one, Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks, they're losing sleep right now, okay? They gave up on Drew Holiday and felt like they got to get better. And now all of a sudden he's with the Celtics making it happen. Here's the thing, right? Drew Holiday has really outplayed Kyrie in Game 1 and Game 2. He's been outplaying Kyrie in this series. Last night was a prime example of what he brings to the table. When you talk about the paint points, Legs talked about this. We're talking about a Celtic team who live and die by the 3, but Drew Holiday set the tone by going to the paint. Now, when it comes down to the Celtics, think about Game 1, think about Game 2. We have seen so many powerful plays out of the Boston Celtics defensively. Going back to Jaylen Brown with a big block in Game 1 on Kyrie Irving. Jaylen Brown with another defensive pickup 94 feet on Luka and gets a steal. Then he backdoors and gets another steal. Then he goes verticality with Derrick Jones and gets a block on the back line of the defense. And then when you think about last night, Drew Holiday picking up 94 feet again, forcing the steal on Luka Doncic. And then the last play, Derrick White, one of the plays at the end of the game, Derrick White coming up huge for a block. Dallas is not making those plays. I cannot think of one moment when we was like, oh, damn, that was a hell of a defensive play. They're just not doing it. They're not getting back in transition. They're not playing with a sense of urgency, and you can't play that way when you're playing against the Boston Celtics. We talked about a team where we've been waiting on their level of physicality to pick up, and are they ready for a tough Western Conference? And they have shown us in these first 2 games that they don't have to play well offensively. They got a certain level of defense that they can step up to, and they can get it done. Because Drew Holiday, he got Kyrie Irving in the body bag right now, strapping him up.
Well, we'll talk about Kyrie in a minute, but as I get to Wendy, who was there at all these games for us last night, let me just put up full screen number 1, Cindy, if I can, just once again to demonstrate just how well Drew Holiday played last night. We're talking about an historically great game. He is the 9th player in NBA Finals history to put up 25 points and 10 rebounds on at least 75% shooting in any NBA Finals game ever. Of the 9 players who've ever done it, he's the only one who's a guard. And look at the size. You're talking about 7-footers practically, with the exception of Cedric Maxwell, 7-footers across the board. That's the kind of night Drew Holiday last night. And Wendy, it was you who was saying to me in the meeting this morning, what they're proving in this series is not that they have the best player, that they have the best team.
Yeah, if you go back and look at what happened 2 years ago when I was standing here in Boston for the 2022 finals, the Celtics never would have come close to winning a game where Jason Tatum was 6 of 22 as he was shooting the ball last night. But because of the additions of Porzingis and Drew Holiday, their margin for error is a mile wide. Holiday was the #1 plus-minus player in the 2021 finals when he helped the Bucks win. Are you surprised for me to tell you he's the #1 player in plus-minus in this series? Are you surprised for me to tell you that #2 is Porzingis? Are you surprised for me to tell you that Porzingis and Holiday together are the best plus-minus duo in this series of all the duos playing together? If this was a 3-game series and it was over, I would have voted Drew Holiday for MVP. Frankly, he would have been an MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals under other scenarios because his stats were that good. This team is just so well-rounded. That is what's happened here. The Celtics were already a championship contender. They have become a dominating championship favorite because of the impact Drew Holiday and Porzingis have made, and that's been absolutely on display in games 1 and 2.
Yeah, I would say, when you look back at deals made and whatnot, first of all, as we talk about the Celtics, we keep trying to talk about Brown, Tatum, who's better. We know Jason Kidd got involved in that as well. Can we just take a minute and just acknowledge the fact that we are enjoying what is a great team? The way this was built, Brad Stevens should be MVP right now. The way this team has been built, the opportunity that came upon them, Drew Holiday. I mean, think about it. The Damian Lillard trade, like Perk was saying, the Damian Lillard trade from Milwaukee ended up being the final championship piece, not for Milwaukee, but for the Boston Celtics. They wanted him, and Drew Holiday, once the Bucks said goodbye, he wanted them. Why? Get back in the East. Let me beat you. Let me get past you. Show that I have that championship medal. What a great piece he was after they lost a player like Marcus Smart. So as we try to make this star versus star and everything else, and that's what the NBA is about, let's talk about a Boston Celtics team that is right now on the verge, two wins away from a championship.
Absolutely. And then for every action, there is an equal opposite reaction. On the other side of this thing, Kyrie Irving, as we mentioned briefly and we'll now get into, has been really struggling. Let's put Big Perk's tweet from last night